Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk.
Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
The Texas Rangers win the World Series.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sale.
This is a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Well, hello again, one and all. It is your friends at Your Dark Companion, your friends at Stolen Water Media. We are back after a little bit of a holiday hiatus. Hopefully, yours was good. Yours worked out as you wanted it to. Yours worked out without, anybody killing each other along the way or anything like that. That'd be bad. Yeah, hey, that's all right. We're not messing around here. But yes, we are back for another round here. And today, what we're going to do is something that we do whenever we bring on a new member to the roster. Here at Little Stolen Water Media, we get them in here and talk to them about what it is they're going to do for us and consequently for you. And it just so happens that the guy we're bringing in here today has been doing that thing he does for some time on broadcast airwaves, and now he has found his way into the realm of the podcast. So he's here now. If you go looking for him, you can find him right here. He is known as the Dirt Doctor. His real name is Howard Garrett. You've heard him on the radio. He's probably got all kinds of websites and stuff like that up. And he is here to help you with plants and get yours growing the way they should, telling you how to take care of them and stuff like that. How are you?
Could not be better. Fantastic.
You ready for this?
I am. I'm excited about it. I've been doing the terrestrial radio at WBAP and K-Sky for a long time, 36 years, and I'm ready to shift. I did my last show last Sunday. So here we go.
Well, we're ready for you to do that thing you do and bring it right over here. Now, for those who may not know who you are and what you do, why don't you, instead of me telling them, why don't you?
All right. Well, I started out in East Texas, grew up in Pittsburgh, Texas, went to school at Texas Tech, became a landscape architect, but took a little hiatus and went into the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve for a while, and got the good dose of the poison water at Camp Lejeune, went through that, and that was kind of an interesting little piece of my health history. And then it came
now, what year are we talking about here?
The Marines during the period of time I was there, that was late 60s and through the 70s and into the early 80s, they had a dry cleaning plant on the edge of the base there at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And a whole bunch of Marines got cancer. The most common form of cancer that they got was male breast cancer. And I got blood clots out of it somehow or another. We all think, the doctors think, I've never had a cold or a flu in my life, but I came down with that. So that's what the Camp Lejeune poison water story is. It's not a good one. There's a lot of Marines that got in trouble, all kinds of cancer. But anyway, came to Dallas, worked Brookhaven Country Club. I was a laborer and a golf course superintendent for a while, then got fully into landscape architecture. I was part owner of a couple of landscape companies and learned all of that all across the board. And then got into doing a radio, teaching people how to do organic gardening on the radio in about 1988. And
started BAP? Is that where you started?
Well, I started at WBAP. I was there a little less than 20 years. I've been at K-Sky 660 for about the same length of time. Like I said, about 36 years total. Yeah.
Wow.
So we teach people. I'm not a regular gardening guy or landscape guy. I teach people the natural organic approach, and we learned it on our own. I decided to do it with my little girl, who has been the announcer on my show the whole time. When she was 9 months old and walking around picking up things and putting them in her mouth, I decided I didn't want to have poisons around my little girl, and that's how it all got started. I didn't even know what the term meant, so I started learning it then. I've learned it pretty well now. I teach other people how to do it and how to save money and how to be healthier.
For the average spare guy who gardens a little bit out there but has never thought about going organic, what does he need to do?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, I have one of the reasons I've been successful with it is I've simplified it. What it means is to stop using the things that are destructive. Stop using high nitrogen synthetic fertilizers. The synthetic fertilizers are basically salts, and start using organic amendments and fertilizers, and start doing all the things that are good for the soil, compost and watering properly and all that, and you don't have nearly as many insect or disease problems to deal with. And what you do have pop up, we have come up with techniques that work really well. And the bottom line on the natural organic approach is it works better in every way, and that includes from a financial standpoint. And that's a big, well-kept secret. Most people don't know that.
How does doing it organically affect the financial aspect of it?
Well, that's one of the biggest questions that comes up, and most people think it costs more money because they go into Whole Foods or Sprouts or Trader Joe's and they see that the organic apple costs 3 times more than the conventionally grown apple, and so they think all organic is more expensive. But that's primarily because the U.S. government underwrites the big factory farms that don't use organic, and they don't underwrite and give subsidies to the organic producers. And we're trying to get that changed. We're hammering away across the country on it all the time, and we're making some progress. But the problem is that
so there's a big movement all across the gardening scene.
It's moving our direction strongly, but we're still in the minority because there's not one university in the United States that teaches the organic approach, teaches what I teach. Not one.
Have you ever thought about taking this to a educational institution and making it a course or some such?
Well, we've talked to a lot of them, and there's been some interest, but it always kind of just flitters away at the end because the paradigm change is just too difficult to do. Those professors that exist at all the universities learned it the other way.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for them to admit that they were wrong and that there's a better way to go. But we teach it with the radio stuff, and now we will with the podcast. But we also have online classes on dirtdoctor.com, my website, and we teach it there. We have a long course that goes through everything that I teach, and we have a short course that teaches what I call the sick tree treatment. We can solve any tree problem that's out there, from mistletoe to sapsucker birds pecking holes in the trunk to oak wilt and everything in between with this natural approach, and it works beautifully. In fact, we've got the only cure for oak wilt.
Yeah.
The chemical people, they sell chemicals to inject in the trunks of the trees, but they admit that it's not a curative; it's only a preventative.
Yeah,
we have a curative.
What got you going down this road? Did you learn it from a guy, or did you come up with this on your own, or how did it come about for you?
One of my books is called Texas Herbs for Texas. And inside the cover of that book, I think that's the book. No, maybe one of my other books. But anyway, there's a picture of my little girl on the front porch, and she is putting something in her mouth, and that's literally how it got started. I was having her out with me to plant some things in the front yard, and she was picking up stuff and sticking it in her mouth, and I thought, well, why would I want to have anything poison around my little girl? And I started looking into it, met some people, John Dromgoole down in Austin and Malcolm Beck in San Antonio. Those kind of guys were my original teachers, and they taught me. I bought it hook, line, and sinker, and here I am.
We just took off with it, huh?
Never doubted it for a minute.
Do you get blowback from those who do it in a more conventional way? Or?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was one of the first people canceled. The people in the industry tried for a long time to get me off of writing a column for the Dallas Morning News, and they finally succeeded in that. And we've bumped heads with the landscape industry, the other people on the radio and television that talk about gardening. You know, they don't like what I have to say. Yeah, we've been bumping heads now for a long time.
So you're kind of the renegade in this scene, huh?
Yeah, I'd have to say that, I guess. We're getting more and more followers out there, because when people try what I recommend, they call back and say, this is just incredible. It works so well. Why isn't everybody in the world doing this? And I just tell them what I just told you, that it's not taught in the universities. And if it's not taught in the universities, the people that get out with a degree in landscaping or golf course management or anything related to greenhouse management, and they have never been experienced or exposed to it, they're going to do what the industry's doing, what their peers are doing, and all that, because if they do that and something fails, they can say they did the ultimate that technology has to offer. If you go the organic route, you either have to blame yourself or me, which is fine. I don't have any problem with that at all. But yeah, that's difficult for a lot of people to do.
What is the price point difference in doing it organically as opposed to otherwise?
Yeah, didn't finish answering that, did I? One of the first big projects I ever turned organic was Frito-Lay's national headquarters out in Plano, 300 acres.
Yeah.
I designed the landscape of it originally with a big firm out of Boston, and they hired me to stay on as a consultant, and I convinced the one person, the boss of grounds and greens of the project, to go organic. And I convinced him that if we use products that build the health of the soil, we're going to be able to keep the cost of the inputs, fertilizers and pest control products, about the same, maybe a little bit higher, but we're going to save a bunch of money on water. We can cut the water bill on a project by 40 to 50% with the organic program.
Really?
You make the soil healthier, and it holds moisture at just the right level for a much longer period of time than when using the synthetic fertilizers. The synthetic fertilizers are terrible. They're basically salts, and they're not. Every time you put one out, you're hurting the soil. You're knocking the health down a little bit with each application. With the organic techniques and products, every time we put something out, compost, fish emulsion, what I call Garrett juice, a mixture that I invented, every time you use one of those amendments, the soil gets healthier and healthier and healthier. One of the things you never have to even say with the organic program is, my beds, my soil, and my vegetable garden's worn out. I need to pull all that old soil that's worn out and bring in new soil and start over. That never happens with the organic approach. Soil gets better and better and better and better forever. And the inputs, if you know what you're doing, which we've figured out over the years on how to control fire ants and how to control caterpillars in oak trees and things like that, if you know the organic technique that really works for those things, the net cost of the organic program should be dead level or even save a little bit of money, not be more expensive.
How do you control rodents like those you just mentioned?
Well, fire ants is one of the easiest ones. It's one of the things that really clicked what I call my soft pest control program over and into gear. We were doing a project in South Lake years ago, and I had convinced the owner, it was American Airlines computer division, is what it was, and I convinced them to go organic. And they called me one day and they said, well, this contractor we got is, screwed us around. They're doing a terrible job and they used up all our money. We want to go organic like you recommend, but we only can spend money on one input, one application of something for the whole 100 acres, how big it was. What should we do? And so I pulled something out of my rear on it. I don't know why. It just came to me all of a sudden. I thought, well, dry molasses, which is an ingredient that they put in cattle feeds, is available and cost effective. And I knew it would have a little bit of fertilizer value. And I said, maybe get some other benefits from the sugar, stimulating biological activity in the soil with this sugar. And so we put it out, and the employees were all laughing at me. This gringo doesn't know what he's talking about, crazy son of a gun. And didn't hear from him for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. And finally, one day, one of them called me and said, Howard, can you come out to the side? We want to show you something. I said, sure. So I went out, and they said, we thought you were nuts, we'll be honest. But everything is looking good. As you can see, things were green. And the superintendent that called me out, he said, we had fire ants covering this place, as you know, before we did the dry molasses. And he said, we can't find a fire ant today. So we stumbled into that technique, and we've had thousands of people use the technique and report back to me that, man, this really worked. We've had a couple of cases where it didn't work 100%, and we've got some treatments, this liquid that I call Garrett juice. We use it, and we mix just food-grade orange oil into it and pour it right into the center of the mound and let it go down, swirl it around, and then get the top of it and then try to kill the ants that are trying to crawl up your leg with the end of it. And it kills out individual mounds very well. You usually don't have to do that, but if you do have to do it, it's a tool that works. You don't need a toxic.
So somebody calls you and wants to take a look at what you're throwing down here, and I mean, do you go out there and do you do it yourself, or do you have guys that do it, or
No, I just recommend other contractors. I used to be in the contracting business. I used to be landscape architect and contractor and the whole deal. But now I still do some consulting on projects that sound really interesting or something that where they don't mind paying a few bucks for a consultant. But we just recommend contractors. There are organic contractors out there, but they're in the minority, just like everything else. And there are nurseries that sell organic products, but almost none of them sell 100% organic. They all tend to try to hedge their bets a little bit and keep some Roundup in the store and keep some of the other terrible stuff that I don't recommend in for customers so they won't miss a sale. But there's a few that have gone 100% organic. One of my friends, good buddy down in San Antonio, he and his partner have a 100% organic retail store down there that's been totally organic now for about 35 years, something like that, and just doing a beautiful job.
Yeah.
Just killing.
So now you're coming in here into the world of the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Which is a little bit of a different bag from radio.
Sure.
Similar in form, though not necessarily content. And you got to come up with a way to connect with an audience that you may or may not hear from or actually see. And it's a little bit different, a little bit of a different game from radio. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for your mentoring. I'm ready to go.
That'll send you down the road to hell quicker than anything.
No, I'm eager to learn more, and I know it's going to be different. I'm used to talking to people on the radio, and now I'm just going to be talking to me or a guest, like you're doing here, and it's definitely a different way to go. But I enjoy public speaking. That's another thing that I do. I travel around and speak at the home shows and things like that. So I'm not bashful about that. I just need to learn the good techniques so I get through to everybody.
Well, we're looking forward to having you on here with us, man. We always like guys who can come in here and specialize and speak to certain groups out there that we know are out there and active and everything, but we don't really, we cut across a little bit bigger cross section than just that. We like guys who come in here and specialize, and we're very, very glad to have you on board. Looking forward to this, man.
Well, one of the exciting things about it is to get in touch with your audience, and I'm sure a pretty large percentage of them don't know anything about the Dirt Doctor or this natural organic approach at all, and so I'm looking forward to talking to a lot of new people and helping some folks be healthier and have more fun gardening and landscaping, and people that are in the business of growing something for a living. I can help those people too. We know how to do it.
We are in the business of fixing you up to reach that crowd, man.
Fantastic.
Gonna do all we can for you. Thanks for coming in today, and we look forward to getting rolling with you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is. He is the Dirt Doctor. He is Howard Garrett. You can check him out right here with us on Stolen Water over there in the Sunset Lounge, where you hear all of the great podcasts, except, of course, for YDC, which we have for you here on Stolen Water. So check them out over there, and check out everything that's over there at the Sunset Lounge. Hopefully you've done that. But if you haven't, why not? You need to. All right, that's it for today with Howard. Thank you, Howard, once again.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.